Ever feel like you just don't even know where to start when it comes to the kitchen? I mean, there are just so many drawers and cabinets and utensils and appliances to go through. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how I am minimizing and decluttering my countertops and taking you along on that journey. And at the end, I'll be sharing with you the end result, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And let's go ahead and jump into the video. So last week, I shared with you guys the cleaning out of my cabinets and drawers. So this week, we are focusing on the countertops, and I'm really excited for this because it's the space where you're going to get the most impact because it's the area that you see all the time, right? This is our current situation, and this is all stuff that we use on a regular basis. So maybe aside from the stand mixer that maybe is used once or twice a month, but other than that, I mean, we use our knife block set, we use our coffee maker every morning. This is actually not usually out, but my husband just made dinner with it, but the Instant Pot. We have this tray over here for coffee stuff, and then of course the soaps and brushes for the sink, the toaster, and then over here we have like our drying area for dishes. And I'm also going to be talking about the solution for the top of the fridge in case you have a situation similar to this one where it just kind of ends up being a catch-all for vitamins, medicine, protein powder, you name it, it just kind of gets thrown up there. The first section that I'm going to be focusing on is this corner over here with the stand mixer and cookbooks and all of that stuff. So I did it in this order for a reason because last time I cleared out my cabinets and got rid of all the extra stuff. So now I have more space to store these items. So I'm going to be actually moving the stand mixer down into a cabinet as well as some of these other things because they are items that I don't have to have out all the time. Yes, the stand mixer is kind of bulky, so it is going to be kind of a pain to pull it in and out, but I really want to just clear everything out and see how it feels for a couple weeks. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get everything down off the counter that I can and just see how I like it. I mean, you can always move it back, right? So I actually love this knife set. I think it's really pretty and we got it as a wedding gift. We were doing a copper theme, as you can probably tell, and I thought it would be really pretty to have sitting out. But when I look in the kitchen every time, I just feel like this whole oven area looks so cluttered. And then also they don't actually function very well in this space because I don't know if you can tell, but this cabinet is so low that you can't even pull these knives out without them hitting the cabinet. You kind of have to like finagle it all weird, and so they aren't even really the best in that space anyway, and there's really no way to rearrange them that makes sense because you can't really go that way. They're designed to be front facing like this. So what I think I'm gonna do, we do use these pretty much every day, but what I'm thinking is we have this cabinet right here by the stove, and I did recently clean this out, so now we have a little space here. So I'm thinking I'm going to try putting them down there and just see how that goes and see how we like it. Okay, and for the cookbook, this isn't something that I use every single day. So although I kind of like the way it looks sitting out on the stand, I don't know, I really want to commit to this process and see how it feels to have the counters as clear as possible. So since it's not something I use every day, for now I'm going to go ahead and clear it off as well. And I'm just going to put it over here in the pantry with its friend here, volume 1 of the cookbook, and just pull it out when I need it. As for the stand, I have plenty of space up in this cabinet, so for now I'm just going to put it up here. And while we're going through my kitchen and clearing out the countertops, I would love to know, is there an item in your kitchen that you use every single day that you like to have out? For us, it is our coffee maker. We are both really big coffee people. My husband works in coffee, and we actually are planning on moving here pretty soon to start our own coffee shop. So yeah, needless to say, coffee is a big deal in our house, and so we do keep our coffee maker out, and I haven't quite decided how I feel about putting that away yet. So I would love to hear, like, is there an item in your kitchen that you use every single day, or maybe even multiple times a day, that you would have a hard time putting away? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so I was actually able to clear a little space in this cabinet for the stand mixer. It's still right here at the front where it will be easy to grab when I need it. And this is already where I have my other baking supplies anyways. So I feel like it's a good spot for it. Shouldn't be too hard to pull out when I need it, so we're gonna see how that goes. And as for the paper towel holder, I have not decided yet how I want to deal with that. I feel like that's one of those things that you kind of want handy to grab when you need it, and I'm not really sure what cabinet I would put it in, so we'll come back to that one. Let me know if you have any ideas for that. Over here, we have our teapot, and we did actually used to use this every single day when we were making French press coffee. We lived in a much smaller apartment before this one, and our kitchen was tiny. And so we didn't even have the coffee maker out. So we kept it in the garage and just used the French press. But since we moved in here, we just found it easier to just use the coffee pot, just a little less time consuming. And so now we don't really use this kettle anymore very often. Every once in a while we'll pull out the French press, or maybe occasionally have a cup of tea. But for the most part, it really doesn't need to sit out. I do think it's really pretty, but it is just another thing adding to the visual clutter. So I'm going to try to find a spot for that in one of these cabinets here near the stove. Nicely right down here where I was originally going to put the knives. So that worked out great. We could easily just grab it if we need it. Think about what is going to work best for you and your family in your season of life. If you are someone who, like you just saw me put our kettle away, but if you're someone who drinks tea like 3 times a day and you don't want to be pulling out the kettle every single time, especially because it will be hot still between cups of tea, then by all means, of course, keep it out. I'm just showing you what is working for our family to hopefully give you some ideas and some motivation. And maybe you'll just put this video on in the background while you clean out your kitchen and just listen to some of the tips. Take what you need, toss out what you don't. But yeah, I just thought I would throw that in. And I actually am going to get rid of this spoon rest as well, because we really don't use it that often. And even when we do, it's just another thing to have to clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that and just have the stove be completely cleared off. And it's kind of sad because I remember searching high and low specifically for a copper spoon rest with my husband and just feeling like I just had to have that spoon rest, and now here I am getting rid of it. So it's just like, money wasted, time wasted, but that's one of the lessons that I'm learning as we're on this journey to becoming more minimal. It's really making me think a lot harder about my purchases so that I don't make those same mistakes in the future, or at least hopefully not as often. Okay, so this area is a little tricky because I have not found a spot to put the olive oil or the cooking spray because they don't actually fit up in our spice cabinet. They are too tall. And I am too short to put them up in the cabinets above the microwave. That would be way too much trouble. I don't want to pull out a stool every time I want to cook. So I think for now I am just going to leave them. They don't even fit on the top of the stove either. I think I'm just gonna leave those there for now and just kind of maybe tuck that one behind, since that bottle is prettier and it's still pretty tucked away, not too noticeable. So we'll just see how that feels. So another tip is storing your storage containers with the lids on them, which sounds kind of counterintuitive because you don't have as much space to store them, but it also encourages you not to have so many storage containers. And we do have the glass containers. I got rid of all the plastic ones about a year ago, and I really enjoyed having the glass one. It is gonna take up a little bit more space, but I think I'm gonna try storing them with the lids and see how I like it. And then that way I can use this drawer and storing the lids in to store the cooking utensils.
Cambia el tiempo en el reloj. Hoy mis deudas reciben perdón.
Yeah, and the nice thing about storing in this way is you know that each one has a lid and you don't lose the lids that way.
Cambia el tiempo en el reloj. Hoy mis deudas reciben perdón. Pago por el show. Me siento feliz porque si no soy yo, pues quién. Todos caen a mi lado. El freno lo arranqué. Me siento feliz porque.
And since we cleared out the coffee mugs in the last video, I now have all this extra space in this cabinet that I'm planning on storing our coffee beans, and I already have the grinder stored up here, so I'm just gonna put the coffee beans up here as well. And then I think I'm gonna get rid of this tray and maybe put this up on the shelf instead of in this corner, so I can just kind of clear out all of this area. So this area I showed y'all a minute ago, it has like the toaster, the what's this thing, blender, and all of this dish drying area that just gets super cluttered. So what I'm thinking is maybe I can fit the toaster and the blender down here. I'm just not sure how I feel about moving the toaster back and forth because of the crumb situation, and I do use it every single morning. But like I said, I want to just commit to clearing them off and seeing how it goes, so we're just going to try it, and we can always move it back if we don't like it. Okay, and then for this area over here where we have all of our dishes drying normally, I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and clear all that out. I think I'm actually gonna get rid of the bottle drying rack because I really don't love the way it looks, and I just hate the way these dishes look just stacked here. Even though it is kind of hidden, it's actually a little nook over here behind the fridge, but I can still see it, and so it still adds to the visual clutter. So I think for now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get rid of this and just try out drying the dishes right away and just putting them up right then. And if there are certain things that we feel like we kind of want to let dry a little longer, I might get like one of those bamboo racks or something to put right there. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and clear that out.
Solo un rayo del sol cambia el tiempo en el reloj.
So I did decide to go ahead and add this little bamboo rack that I got from Target, because there are things that we use multiple times a day, like my baby's bibs and his cup and things like that, that I don't really want to dry off between every single time. And so this is perfect for just leaving those on so I can use them a couple times a day. And it does actually fold up even, so you could just fold it up and put it away if you wanted to. But it's also, I think, really aesthetically pleasing, so I think it's perfect for that space, and it looks a lot better than the bottle rack and the situation that I had here before. Over here I have our, what is this, food processor. I have the food processor, and we actually do use this every single day to make some of our baby's food, and so we've just been keeping it out on the counter. But since I have this space cleared out where I put the coffee supplies, I still have this empty shelf here, so I think we're gonna try out just keeping it up here for now, because it's easy to reach, easy to pull out. It'll take like 3 seconds to pull it out of there and use it, and that way it's not on the counter. Okay, so I opened this cabinet and this is one of the areas that I have not gotten to yet, and I wanted to put the Instant Pot in here, so I realized I had crammed it full of lunch boxes and grocery bags to get them out of the pantry to make it look better. So now I have to deal with this stuff, and then behind that is all of these little storage bins that I have for like just miscellaneous stuff. So I'm gonna have to clear that out. I actually plan on going through all of this stuff and condensing it into a better system so I don't have all of these separate bins. But I'll share that with you guys in another video. For now, I'm just gonna kind of move this stuff out of the way so I can put the Instant Pot down here. Okay, so I showed you guys before some of the stuff that was gathered up here on the top of the fridge. I actually got this basket here. I believe it was from either Burlington or Marshall's, but it's nice and deep and it can set up on the top of the fridge without any of that showing. So I think I'm gonna use that to put in all of the medicines and vitamins and things like that so that they can sit up there without looking cluttered. So I actually think with the basket, I really like it, and it's a nice size. I think it's really pretty, neutral, but it was still just a little cluttered in there with putting the medicines and the vitamins and supplements. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to get like 2 smaller ones later on so I can actually separate the supplements and vitamins from the medicines so you don't have to dig through all of that. But for now, I think it's a pretty good solution, and it definitely looks a lot better than all of that stuff just sitting up there. And one benefit to having cleared off countertops is it makes it a lot easier to clean them. You don't have to work around all of these different objects that are sitting out. You can just wipe them down really easily. All right, well, I have all of the counters cleared off and I can't wait to show you what it looks like. I'm really happy with it. I think we're really gonna like it like this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my next video where I'll be going through another room, minimizing and decluttering, and sharing my tips while we are on this minimalism journey. Stay tuned for the aftershots.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.